Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Rachel and this is Sunday, and to get started on this what's for dinner video, I'm cooking up some ground beef. I'm going to be making some spaghetti. For this sauce, I am just seasoning up the ground beef with some garlic powder and some dehydrated onions. I just let that meat get all the way cooked through, and then I drained off the grease, and then I'm going to use the same pan to saute some mushrooms. Okay, I'm back again. I was in the rest of the house doing something. I don't know. Let's check these noodles and see what we've got going on here. So as you can see, I have a big, huge mess. So the water boiled over, just like I expected. Anyway, I'm gonna get my these are mushrooms, not onions. Going to get my mushrooms sauteed. I thought there was enough oil in here from the meat, but it doesn't look like much. I don't have a jar for my olive oil right now, so I just have it in one of these mason jar glasses. Yep, nothing fancy going on here, and it's like a Christmas one at that. Oh, I'm just going to get these mushrooms sauteed like I said. And then, let's see, let's put a little bit of garlic powder on those. And some more of the minced onion. Just let them, oh, that's much better. That olive oil made all the difference. We got a nice smell going on here. That's what you want when you're cooking, is the smell, right? It's got to smell good to taste good. Anyway, we'll be back to this. While my spaghetti is just kind of simmering, I'm just making up a couple of salads for the boys. I know this might sound weird, but I cannot eat lettuce. So, I mean, I can, and I do sometimes, but I pay for it later. And so I'm not having a salad today. Since I do have veggies in my spaghetti, we're gonna call that good. So all I'm going to do for them is lettuce, some of these bacon bits. There's not very much left in here, but that's all right. And Bill isn't here right now, so he can do his when he gets back if he wants. I'm going to add some cheese. They like lots of cheese. Like really, I could give them a bowl of cheese and some croutons and some dressing, and that would be good to them. So I'm just going to put some croutons on each one. Come on. And then I just have some ranch dressing out for them. They can each do their own salad. In case I didn't mention it, I put a can of petite diced tomatoes in the sauce, as well as adding the ground beef back in, those sauteed mushrooms, a half a jar of olives, which I just love olives in spaghetti, or as a topping on spaghetti. I did season this back up with a little bit more garlic powder and some salt and pepper. And then I added a jar of spaghetti sauce to it. And then I just let it simmer for a while so that everything got cooked together. And then for anybody else who doesn't want olives and mushrooms in their spaghetti like I do, then I just made some regular old spaghetti here and just did the meat sauce right in with the noodles. Today we're just mixing, well, we usually do. We mix our spaghetti and our sauce together. And that's dinner. Now, I know there's a lot of people who just don't like mushrooms and olives, and that's okay. Some of us are just different. I personally love sour or tangy food, so this spaghetti is right up my alley with these little bits of olive in there. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my gosh, it is Monday, and we're just coming into this Monday after spring break, and so back to figuring out what's for dinner. And so I just got these tater tots out of my oven. Oh, look at that. Anyway, just got these out of the oven. They're really nice and toasty on the bottom. That's all right because we like our food a little on the burnt side, especially our tater tots. And I'm going to use some Hormel chili with no beans and some cheese, some sour cream, and probably some chopped up onions, and just make some chili cheese tots. I grated up some extra sharp cheddar in my food processor, and I'm just going to start sprinkling that everywhere. Buddy, there's cheese on the floor. I always forget and leave this in there. Next I have this bit of cheese here. There's probably about a cup of it. And I know I already have enough cheese on here, but I really want this cheese to puddle up. That's probably not the right term for cheese, but I want so much cheese on here. I want to swim in it, you know what I mean? There we go. Now let's get these back in the oven for a few minutes. Just a few minutes under the broiler and these tater tots were all ready to go. I just used what was left over in the squeezy container of sour cream and then got out the remaining little bit that was left in the tub. And in my mind, I was thinking that I would keep all of the sour cream and green onions in the middle. That way anybody who didn't want sour cream and onions could just pull their tater tots from the side. So anyway, that's why it looks like this, like a big ol' eyeball. Anyway, so just sprinkling on those chopped up green onions and getting all of that good sour cream right there in the middle. And these tater tots were so ooey gooey and cheesy. Look at that. This was definitely one of the easiest and quickest dinners that I made all week. The next meal, we are making another spaghetti dish because Bill requested spaghetti carbonara. So to get that started, I'm cooking up some bacon and I'm boiling some more pasta in the pot to the left. I did not have any fresh Parmesan cheese, so I am just using the grated stuff out of the box. In my pan that I had my bacon in, I'm just cooking up more mushrooms and more garlic. Just gonna let those saute. Then I just took some of that cooked bacon and just kind of tore it into bite-sized pieces. And you will see me going back and forth here because I'm doing two pans, one with mushrooms and one without. That's just kind of how I do things around here sometimes. And I did have to use half and half instead of heavy cream because, again, that is what I had. So next I sprinkled in my grated Parmesan cheese, just giving everything a mix there. I'm still cooking with my tongs. That's all right. Just use whatever you want to do. I don't care. So next, I'm just adding my cooked spaghetti into my sauce mix. As you can see, it is bubbly and getting thick. I added some into the other pan as well. Every now and then I do what I call frantic cooking, and that's where you have so much going on at once, and that was this day. Although this is a super easy dish, it was a little bit work to keep two pans going at the same time. Next, I use some of that pasta water to temper my eggs, just to kind of get them to be close to the same temperature as my pasta. You do not want to scramble your eggs. And then I just added about 1 egg to each pan of pasta, and this is how it turned out. We served up some cheesy garlic bread on the side, and this was just as good as the fresh stuff. All the flavors were there. The next night, we got Mexican food because sometimes you just gotta have takeout Mexican food, right? And to be honest, sometimes I just want a break from cooking. Just want to let someone else do the cooking. So here I am just adding the taco seasoning meat, or whatever you want to call this stuff here on the side. This place has a different kind of meat mixture. It's more like a hash. It does have potatoes in it. And so then I'm using some of their what they call gravy and adding that to my tacos as well. This stuff is so good. It's so addictive. Friday night, I decided to take some help from some pre-packaged foods. This seasoned rotisserie chicken is one way that I am saving a couple steps. I'm going to add a bit of barbecue sauce to it and just let that go on a slow simmer so that it's all nice and seasoned and barbecuey. I'm using my food processor to chop up some onions. I have about 4 onions going in. We're going to do lots of onions for this dinner. Next, into a pan with some olive oil, I'm putting all of those onions so that they can start to get nice and caramelized. And as you will see here in a minute, I bypassed caramelized and went right on to charred at some point. But that is because I have still not figured out my new stove and the settings. On the back burner in my little saucepan, I'm just adding some half and half and some garlic powder. Here you see that my onions got a little overdone, so I had to turn those down and let them kind of finish up, and I almost burnt them, which would have been so sad. But I did add in my steak fajita meat at this time, and we're just going to let that get cooked together. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm all over the place in this meal, but I have just been struggling lately with cooking dinner. I'm just going to be real. So my chopped up garlic, I'm putting that right in there with the meat and the onions. back to the sauce that I'm making on the back. I added some garlic powder, and I just started with a few slices of white American cheese, and I'm going to stir that and keep adding my cheese slices. I did remember to turn this down to the melt setting on my burner because we just want to get a nice cheesy sauce going. Into my steak and onions, I added a can of mushrooms. As you noticed in the beginning of this video, made a lot of meals with mushrooms this week, and I was out of fresh. A little bit of the Worcester sauce, and then we like crushed red pepper in just about everything. And so then I added some pepper because I just wasn't happy with the seasoning that came on the meat already. And then my cheese sauce is getting a little bit ahead of me, so I pulled that off. Next, I'm just laying out my little naan breads. These are going to be little pizzas, and I'm using a white pizza sauce. I did add some of the grated Parmesan to this as well, just because I wanted that flavor as well. And I'm just going to spread my white pizza sauce on each piece of bread here. And then next I will start adding our toppings. That steak and onion and mushroom will be on part of these, and then the barbecue chicken and onions on the other part. Now, after having eaten this for dinner already, I will say I wish I had taken the time to add some bacon and some bell peppers to the barbecue chicken. I think that would have just kind of set that over the top because they were really good as is, but that little bit of extra layering and flavor would have been really good too. So I just used some of that white pizza sauce on each of these pieces of naan bread, and these only take a few minutes in the oven before the crust gets nice and crispy. That is why I like to make my pizzas on naan. And so next I came in with the steak and onion and mushroom. So I also thought that I had some shredded mozzarella cheese in my refrigerator. Turns out I didn't. So I did end up using some shredded sharp cheese. And so you will see that we do sprinkle that on top, even though there's a nice little cheesy layer on the bottom. We just wanted to have it topped with cheese, just like any pizza. And so I am doing a variety of these, and for some reason, I mean, I'm sure it's because I added the mushrooms and the onions to the steak, but there was just more meat in the steak package than there was in the chicken. So, and I only got 3 pizzas out of the chicken, and I did pile them up pretty hearty, but anyway, I am gonna come back in with that cheese and finish them off. And then within a few minutes in the oven, these pizzas will be done and dinner will be served, and everyone will be happy, especially me, because these were super easy and tasty. I just kept my eye on these little pizzas and checked for toastiness until it was to our liking, and they were done. Just cut them up into 4 pieces, and this is how they turned out. These were so good. Hi everyone, I'm back home. We had a birthday party for one of the grandkids today in the family to go to, so I'm home and I'm gonna get dinner going. It is like 4:43 right now, but I need to get started because I don't like to be caught off guard. So we're not all here right now. I'm the only one here, but I'm gonna get these, can you see, sausages browned up so that they're ready to go when I'm ready to put dinner together, because I have just been struggling with getting dinner done on time or all at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I'm a hot mess. Anyway, let's get cooking dinner. All right, I promise you this pan is clean. I have scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed this thing. I think it's just on its last leg. I told Bill that we need a new big skillet. He says no, but you know, when I get really tired of it, I'll change it out. But for right now, still doing the job, and I am gonna get started by getting these sausage links cooked. And then I'm going to use this same pan and cook up my bacon. Now, we are having breakfast for dinner, and I got to have sausage and bacon this time for what I'm making, so I will show you how that comes together in a minute. Well, it'll be a while for me, but it'll just be a couple of minutes for you all. All right, I've got the sausage links cooked up, and now I've moved over to getting the bacon fried. If everything goes right and I don't burn this bacon, then I'll be able to cook our eggs in the same pan. Now I'm going to get these hash browns in the air fryer. All right, and I'm going to see if I can skim off some of this bacon grease into this pan just so I can make some eggs. So I'm going to get that turned on and get it warmed up, which the grease is hot, but the pan is still cold. So we're going to get everything going here. All right, I'm gonna just work on getting these scrambled up. They're cooking pretty fast. I'm just gonna pour a little milk right into the pan and then stir that in. And I'm just coming back in with some salt. Get these eggs just stirred up and scrambled. And I'm gonna cut off the heat because my pan looks like it's very hot. And I'm just gonna add a couple slices of American cheese and then just kind of stir that into these hot eggs so that it can melt and be all nice and cheesy. Okay, so to put my breakfast dog, or whatever you want to call this thing, together, I just have my scrambled eggs, my 1 strip of bacon inside my hot dog bun, and then I'm going to add my dogs, I guess you would call the sausage, right in there too, and I'm going to do 2 of those. And we could always add, let's see if I can get that to stand up. I don't know. We could always add ketchup or hot sauce or whatever to that. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in with my hash brown. And then I just want to come in with some ketchup for my hash brown. And that is this week's breakfast for dinner. Well, thank you so much for coming by this week and watching this video. I'm done for now. I've made it to my chair and my hair is up, which means I'm in relaxation mode now. And so I have a lot of cooking to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's Easter and I'm done for the night. All I have to do is wash up our pans because we ate on paper plates tonight. With all the cleaning and the cooking that I'm going to be doing tomorrow, thought I'd give myself a break and use the paper plates. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful Easter if you celebrate Easter, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.